At the Dundonald Street offices of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation, all as a result of the long-standing feud between the local Football Federation and the 2006 World Cup players over bonus monies following the Soca Warriors' participation in the 2006 World Cup in Germany. For more on this story, we go to Joel Villafana. Joel?
Thank you very much, Samantha. It was political football drama indeed, as the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation's headquarters were raided this morning by police. Under court orders, all removable assets were seized. The raid was as a result of the TTFF's failure to honor a High Court order to pay 13 national footballers who represented Trinidad and Tobago at the 2006 World Cup in Germany a sum of $4.6 million. That figure was due on October 18th, 2011. But as of today, the band of Soca Warriors did not receive any monies, resulting in this morning's raid.
Around 9:30 this morning, the Dundonald Street office of the TTFF had to open its doors for police accompanied by spokesperson for the blacklisted Soca Warriors, Brent Sancho. Well, we are outside the office of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation, where we just saw Brent Sancho along with the police entering the building, and we saw a big truck backing up. What's happening is they have come to retrieve whatever documents or valuables belonging to the TTFF as ordered by the court for the ongoing saga between the federation and the blacklisted players for money owed to them. So they're inside the building right now, and we're waiting outside to see how the situation develops. Sancho was also accompanied by former Soca Warriors players Sid Gray, Atiba Charles and Anthony Wolf.
We're here to obviously recover some of the $4.2 million award judgment that we received from Justice Rampersad last year, October. So we're here to recover some of the payment which the Federation has negated to pay over these past couple of months. That's why we're here. As it stands right now, we have given them 1 hour to come up with the $4.2 million. If they don't come up with it, we are now going to start going through the process of levying against them, which is taking all the office equipment, computers, etc. inside of the office.
Well, the hour had passed and no one showed up with any payment. A young lady was seen running into the office with an envelope which provided a false alarm. The loading of the items onto the truck didn't cease. Head coach of Guyana and TTFF technical committee member Jamal Chabas then showed up and left with equipment which he claimed belonged to him, which was being stored at the office. Okay, so we are seeing now that the truck with the first load of equipment are exiting the compound of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation. As I said before, it's everything you can think that is in an office is on that truck loading. Where is it going to? We're not quite sure, but I understand that they've called for a second truck. Mr. Brent Sancho has called for a second truck to come for the other equipment that is in the building. All efforts to reach former advisor to the TTFF, Jack Warner, proved futile. Paul Montano, TV6 News.
Thank you very much, Paul. Well, the TTFF this afternoon acknowledged that the players exercised their legal rights, but pointed to the fingers to former Special Advisor Jack Warner. In a media release, the TTFF states, since the departure of Mr. Jack Warner from the TTFF, this matter has been pending, and following the second court order, the TTFF had hoped that the 2006 World Cup Local Organizing Committee accounts, of which Mr. Warner was the sole arbiter, would have been reconciled, and payments would have been made to the players. This unfortunately has not occurred. The TTFF on its own does not have the resources to fulfill this request for such payments. On the matter of the account in question, the TTFF fully expects Mr. Warner to comply with the instructions of the court to have the accounts ready and delivered to the court by February 14th. As for the current footballing programs, the statement continues that the TTFF will continue its operations with a focus on the national under-23 men's team and the under-17 women's team, which goes into World Cup qualification in May. Funds for these two teams have been guaranteed by the Ministry of Sport, and therefore their programs will be continued. Now, while Mr. Warner appeared to be out of reach despite all our efforts, we are able to reach Anthony Harford, who has assumed the role of marketing and events manager at the TTFF, and Mr. Harford, also a former distinguished sport journalist. Tony, good evening. Surprised at what transpired this morning, or was it just a matter of time?
Not entirely, Joel. I'm not entirely surprised. I think enough had been said that it was looming, and that it happened is not entirely a surprise to me. The timing of it, however, is what is surprising, and that is the court had in fact instructed that Mr. Warner deliver these accounts to the TTFF and then conveyed to the courts on the 14th of February. So I thought that maybe the players would have waited until at least the 14th to see whether that in fact materialized before taking action, but I'm not surprised.
But Tony, in some quarters, Brent Sancho and the 12-odd 2006 Soca Warriors, they have been called vindictive for taking this matter this far. Is that fair?
I don't know that vindictive is a good word. I mean, Brenton, it's their right. These guys have taken the TTFF to court for what they claimed is theirs. If they win the case, then, you know, the courts have ordered that the money be paid, and you know, that's how the system works. And I'm not saying that they're vindictive at all. As I said, the timing of it. Bear in mind they received $7 million already because the first payment of $7 million was made to them. This 4.2 is a second instruction from the court, and the TTFF simply does not have the money to pay them at this time. We were hoping that Mr. Warner's accounts would be reconciled and that from somewhere the money would be found to pay them.
Yeah, I know you personally had some involvement in the running of the TTFF since Jack Warner was forced to bow out. How much trouble the TTFF is in now? Bankruptcy on the cards?
Not at all, Joel. In fact, I'll hasten to tell you that all of this is coming at a good time. I think the TTFF now has the most wonderful opportunity to reinvent itself. We are out of the World Cup. We have a few years before the World Cup. The under-23s are poised to do good things. Our under-17s are doing well. And in terms of the financial position, it is a fact that the TTFF does not have a lot of money, but there are some sponsors who have remained loyal, and the government has pledged its support for the under-23s and for the girls under-17, so the sponsorship money should keep the programs going. I also want the public to understand that the fact that the court has ruled does not mean that TTFF is dissolved. They have ruled in terms of the TTFF their money, but this doesn't affect the running of the TTFF or the operations of the TTFF. So the TTFF is not going away.
All right, thank you very much, Tony.